Whoa, everybody! Why is Iris West so sassy? What's going on with Caitlin Snow? Where is Harry Wells? And who the heck is the Thinker?
We back!
Oh!
Big Scenes presents the Popcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast, and we are back with Season 4 recap and review of, you guessed it, The Flash. Welcome back, everybody. I remember when we first started doing The Flash, it was around the time we were talking about who was Savitar, and I was deadly wrong, and we weren't even doing a daily recap show, but now we are. We're doing a full season's worth of daily recap shows for The Flash, and we are so stoked. Shane, what was your first impressions of last night's show?
Hey, can I just say real quick, this house is bitchin', right?
All right.
Can I just get that out there?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I got to say thank you to everybody on the R Flash TV subreddit. Great discussions going on after this first episode. Got some cool little shout outs I'm going to give to a couple people who we're going back and forth with out there. Had some great points in the show. And just thank you guys for watching and being back with us.
Speaking of, we just did our 800 sub video. We are now on 1,600 subs, which means if it's your first time here, you don't know what this is. If you subscribe and comment on videos, you are put in a literal Hunger Games style drawing where we battle it out for a big giant prize every milestone. And right now we're on the 1,600 sub milestone. If you don't know what that is, check out the last video we just did. It was for our 800 milestone giveaway, and it was a pretty big giveaway, and Siberian Winks won that one. So subscribe, comment below, and let's get right into the show.
Let's just say we gave away a premiere package to Star Wars Episode 8. Dinner, movie, snacks, the whole
popcorn.
For Siberia, so congrats on that.
IMAX, the best,
IMAX.
The best.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving away big stuff here, so make sure you subscribe and comment to get in on the next one.
Yes, I agree with that. Let's get right into The Flash. I am just itching to talk about this series with you, Shane. I wanted to call you this morning and be like, okay, let's talk about this. And you're like, no, save it for the podcast.
Save it for the show.
Okay, well, we get right into it, and we see my phone going off and asking me what I wanted to get into. That was interesting. No, we see this little teleporter blinking around. I say blink because I played a bunch of video games where that skill is called blink or jaunt. But she is blinking from like rooftop to rooftop, and Cisco, Vibe, and Kid Flash, and Iris West back at headquarters, they gotta find this chick. They gotta stop her. They gotta bring her down.
And Joe's out there on the streets.
And Joe, with the police force, is out there with that sweet gun.
Right.
And we see the teamwork in action here, and it's pretty cool because she's like, every third rooftop she shows up. Vibe, get to the third rooftop. He gets there, he grabs her. Kid Flash jumps, and they push her into the portal. They land on the ground. She's about to take him out, and Joe from the back. Dude takes out the shot, and they take down. For some reason, I forgot this person's name, but they take down the blinker, the teleporter.
I think it's Peekaboo, right?
Peekaboo or something like that. Yeah, what's funny is Cisco says, "I hate teleporters."
It's great teamwork though. It really showed the teamwork aspect that they need without the Flash.
Yeah. I knew exactly what Cisco was feeling right there because when I played certain video games, I also hate teleporters.
Yes.
Okay,
Cause
man.
a lot of problems.
Yeah, they're just slippery, hard to get your hands on them. Well, we see the team talking. This is when we first get a little bit of Iris West, played by Candace Patton, and her attitude is just not great. It seems she's really bossy and really sort of sassy.
Oh, she's definitely the boss here, and everybody's kind of bowing down to her will
I gotta say,
to start.
First criticism for me of the show. Remember, overall, I liked the last night's show. I didn't think it was necessarily the most strongest opening for season, a season premiere, but I understood that there's got to be some justifying happening in order to get Barry out of the Speed Force. Maybe they shouldn't have put Barry in the Speed Force last season because you knew it was going to be a problem for them They're gonna try to get him. They gotta get him out the first episode of season 4. And
that puts a lot of handcuffs on them.
Yeah.
And it makes it tough. I almost might have wanted to see Barry come out a little later in the episode, as much as we hate not seeing Barry, just to give it a little more setup. It's always tough with Iris. We have a historical issue, a little bit of issue with Iris West's character, and she kind of bugs a little bit, but we don't let that bother the show and what we think.
Right. We liked it, but my first criticism is I don't know why she is being portrayed as so. There's a lot of words I can't use right now.
Snarky,
sassy,
naggy,
just mean. And you're like,
yeah.
I feel like the writers are like, look, we want to put you in charge, Iris. And maybe the actress didn't play it right, or maybe that's what they want her to be. They want her to not be liked, because this makes me dislike this character, right?
Right. And she's the kind of, and she needs more likability to occur with her, because naturally she comes across a little unlikable.
Right.
So, they need to, I don't know, making her the villain is not good. I do like how they flipped it over though, and kind of gave an explanation as to why she's behaving the way she is, although I'm not sure they pulled that off completely.
No, I didn't get that. Well, she basically tells her brother, Kid Flash, he's like, hey, so I got a training simulation for you. Only take about 4 hours. And he's like, I'm hungry. She goes, excuse me? And you're like, I don't know what dude in his right mind is going to look at his sister and be like, what do you mean, excuse, what? No, I'm not going. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. If my sister was like, get over there and get to work, I'd be like, no. What? Why are you speaking to me that way? I don't understand.
Yeah, there's definitely. That's why I said it's a little bit kind of, everybody's like a little afraid of her. I mean, maybe they're treating her with kid gloves because of Barry. I don't know. Maybe they're, I don't know. But a large part of the beginning of the show, it almost seems like she doesn't care that Barry's gone.
It feels that way, and I like it when Cisco finally voices that, which we'll get to.
Right.
While it looks like while Kid Flash is basically training, Wally West is training now. They're back at home having a nice dinner with Joe's girlfriend. I don't think everybody else realizes that. Like, they're showing Iris, Joe's girlfriend, and Joe at home having a nice dinner. But right now, Wally is over there like busting his butt training.
Right. Yeah. Joe and Cecile are having dinner. He's relaxing, but Wally is the quote unquote superhero that's available at the moment. So maybe he does need a little bit more rigorous training while everybody else doesn't need it.
I don't know. It just made me like Iris West even less. So
I felt the same way. I did too.
So this seems interesting. It looks like Joe's girlfriend is moving in with him. So that's cool. Apparently she wants to get rid of his record collection. He's like, oh, hell no.
That was actually nice, yeah. But I love her comeback, which was basically, well, how about we bury the records and then you can join them later?
Yeah, that was sort of funny.
That was funny.
I'm never going to let my wife see that because she'll use that against me. And then, boom, Samuroid shows up and the team's got to assemble.
But we don't know it's Samuroid yet.
Right, I'm sorry, but it is a big bad flying samurai, whatever. And boom, Kid Flash is out there with Vibe, and they interact with this samurai, and apparently Wally West can speak Japanese. That was interesting.
That was a little different. Caught that. That was a strange reference. Also was very surprised. The samurai did not come across robotic in any sort of way, which I thought was interesting.
No, I think that was the point that they wanted you to see it was a robot at the end.
Yeah.
And while they're mocking him and his use of archaic weapons, he decides to give them a display of his power and knocks them all flat on their butts.
Pretty powerful sword there.
Clearly, that sword is not just a sword, and that's when Cisco decides that he's going to bring Flash back, and he needs Caitlin's help.
But before he goes to get Caitlin, he's actually told nah by Iris.
Right, you're right.
Iris is like, we got to focus on this. Look ahead. Barry's not here. Just do your job.
You're right. I'm sorry, I missed that slide. You're completely right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Once again, more Iris West being snarky and just unlikable when she tells Cisco, "Do your job," and I'm in charge. No tip bringing Barry back.
and I would like to just say that would be that was actually really funny. That would be a Harry Wells job. So maybe Iris is trying to fill the boots of Tom Cavanaugh's character, Harry Wells, because Harry Wells would be like, focus on the mission, and he would be the uncaring SOB that, deep down cares somewhere. So it's really weird having Iris fill those shoes as that character. So
yeah,
and I don't think it bodes well in the beginning.
Like, she's trying to be in charge, but I'm pretty sure Barry put Cisco in charge before he split anyways.
He did, yeah. He said everybody's going to look to you.
I don't know why she's in charge. I'm not sure why her father is even letting her be in charge. She has no discernible skills. She's not a scientist. She's not a speedster. I mean, if anything, out of everybody on the show, she's probably just barely above Joe on the knowledge / IQ level.
Well, she's just really good at being bossy. So
right, but Joe has a job where that's what he does for a living is be in charge. He's the older of the group. He's the oldest one in the group. He is literally the literal father figure of the group. If you're gonna pick somebody that doesn't have any engineering, scientific, speedster skills, and any kind of skills whatsoever, then I would have picked Joe at best. I would have never even assumed Iris would have been. It's almost like the writer is trying to force Iris into a more pivotal role to get the audience to like her more.
Well, that's true, but the problem is that there's nothing for her to do. I mean, she doesn't have a skill set, so you can't put her out on the street to kick butt. You could put Joe out there because he's got a gun. So what do you do with Iris? I mean, she just kind of stand on the sidelines and cheerlead. That's not really, she's a reporter. So it's really tough to figure out what her role is supposed to be. I do think the writers stretch the whole thing where Barry tells her to keep running, right? Remember, Barry tells her to keep running, and she's kind of taken it to mean, don't look back, just keep going. Right. I don't know. It felt a little forced. Like they came up with that. They're like, oh, he told her to keep running. Well, we'll use that like this. I don't know if that worked. And I think her role is definitely forced. So with Barry back now, maybe it'll all just disappear and things will change back up and will feel more natural.
Well, yeah, you're right. So let's go back to the story. It looks like Cisco basically says, you know what? I'm going to find my testicles and I'm just going to go and do this myself because I don't care what Iris West says. Yeah. I'm assuming that's what he's thinking. He heads over.
He's wondering.
Yeah, he heads over to find Caitlin in some rundown, seedy bar somewhere. And surprise, surprise, she is not
Killer Frost.
And that's interesting. She's also a little bit deflecting. She's definitely deflecting. When he asked her how she got rid of Killer Frost, she deflects. She's a little distant. And then this creeper is like...
It's like, what?
Yeah, this guy with the weird eye acting like her pimp. Yeah, that's what he was acting like. He was acting like, she's his talent or something. And he comes up to Cisco and he's trying to act all tough, and Cisco's like, dude, why are you talking to me? I love his reaction was fantastic. It was like, get away from me. Go find someone else to talk to. Because he's vibe. Like, he really does not care.
I love the confidence there, because in the past, Cisco hasn't necessarily been a super confident, in his abilities. He's always called for help. And now he's like a man upon himself. I love that.
Yeah, and this guy didn't scare him whatsoever, but it looked like it sort of scared Caitlin a little bit.
Right. There's a whole backstory there of how this guy's tied to her, and you could see that in just her look. Right. That there's a lot there.
So I love that reaction from Cisco, and he convinced her to come help her and help him, and it's great. Everything's fantastic, except for this creeper. He clearly has something going on.
Right.
Oh, this guy really is sort of really weird and creepy.
Almost looks like Crispin Glover there. Look at him.
Yeah. So they're gonna bring Barry back, man. They get on that same runway that we were first introduced to the Flash when Harry Wells, Reverse Flash, and the whole team was trying to help Barry with his powers. So it's a nice place to return to if they're gonna bring the dude back, right?
Right.
I like that a lot. The science here is, it's weird and iffy, but that's okay. It's a superhero movie.
Well, Cisco is just oozing with confidence here, man.
Yeah, my thing is, like, I know they said he's been working on it since Barry left, right?
Right.
I really wish we felt like I was more sold on that, because it feels like they made this tech overnight.
Right, and that's, we've basically gone from, season 3 ending to season 4 beginning. So they're really, it was hard for them to show a build up. I mean, we just have to kind of use our imagination there, I guess.
I really wish they would have showed like a montage of him working and failing before even starting the episode. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It would have sold it more. But either way, I believe in Cisco Ramon. He's the man.
Yes.
And Caitlin's with him now, and she's back. I like the interaction between her and Joe. I was thinking when she was helping him, when she interacts with Joe and the team, if they're just gonna accept her for like with nothing. So I'm glad she immediately apologized and they had this little moment, because it felt that's what's more natural to me versus she's back to Caitlin, so everything's cool. Like, no, he was tortured by her alter ego, right? So.
Yeah, no, this was the most natural connection between two characters this episode. It was the most free-flowing acting. They really stuck by Joe's character. This is exactly what he would do in this situation. He's a forgiver. He brings the team together, and he did exactly what I wanted him to do as a viewer. So.
He is the glue of Team Flash, not Team Kid Flash, because that's too many syllables.
I love that, though. That was funny.
Yeah, that was like, I think it feels like it's too many syllables. It doesn't feel right in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the name of our team.
Yeah. So, boom, we see that familiar Speed Force cannon, or, you know what, they're saying Speed Force bazooka. I really wish they would have just said Speed Force cannon. It would have felt, it feels more natural to me.
Yeah, yeah.
There must have been some kind of weird rights issue or something that they couldn't use that term. All right, so boom, they launched the Speed Force cannon at the little ball that contains Barry's like genetic profile, and nothing happens.
Right, there's a failure, actually.
It appears to be a failure.
That's what the machine says.
And we get this very disappointing look from Iris.
I love how she just like materializes out of nowhere. It just so solidifies the bossy, overbearing, presence that she has. She just kind of slides from behind the van, and you're like, wet blankets here.
Dude, for a minute, I thought like they were gonna show her like having like a plug in her hand, like she unplugged or something.
Yes, I thought so too. I'm like, she shut it down.
And I was gonna be like, oh my, you just took my like dislike of this character from dislike to hate.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't have her pull the plug.
I'm so glad they didn't do that, because I would have hated this character. And of course, they're wrong. It did not fail. The Speed Force starts zipping in the air. All the the liquid starts floating in the air, and boom, Barry's back.
Yeah, I would argue though that it did fail, and that they are not the ones who brought Barry back.
Oh, interesting.
I would argue that that failure on the cannon, on the bazooka, showed us that for a reason. So I think down the road you're going to find out that the bad guy had something to do with Barry coming back.
Because the bad guy sent the Samuroid to get them to bring Barry back because they needed Barry, right?
Yeah, no, there's some missing pieces there, but I'm willing to. Something is hanky here, for sure. This didn't come across. Why would it fail? Why would you have the cannon fail, and then have Barry show up?
Maybe they thought it failed, but it did enough. Maybe it punctured in some way the Speed Force and allowed Barry to escape.
My point is if you're a writer, what's the point? if you're forwarding the show.
Yeah.
Why do that?
Why not just have him show him zip through, right?
Yeah, unless it's a device for later, it just doesn't matter.
Right. That makes sense. Well, they're all
it's either a
bummed
mistake
out.
or it's brilliant.
Right. You're right. They're all bummed out, and yeah, you're right. And we see Iris basically dressing down Caitlin Snow. Like,
I love the shot you got here, man.
I don't understand this. Like, they're just making me hate this character. Like, Caitlin Snow is there of her own volition, helping her bring her husband back from the dead. She doesn't have to be there. She's not getting paid to be there. She doesn't work for them. You know, I don't understand this visceral reaction from Iris West. It's just so unfitting.
Maybe let's give her the benefit of the doubt. The last time she saw Killer Frost, it was a bad time. So she was there with Savitar, remember? So maybe there's that lingering thing, but they definitely didn't have her react that way to it. They didn't react, you know, she didn't show her like, oh my God, what are you doing here kind of thing.
But Caitlin Snow is one of the people that helped save Iris West, or Killer Frost. Remember, she turns on Savitar at the end.
Right. But I don't remember if Iris remembered that. Maybe I'm just trying to give Iris an excuse here, because the problem is that Iris is a necessary central character to Barry, but we like Caitlin Snow a lot more than we like Iris.
I just realized something. Iris West, and anybody that's over 25, okay, if you're watching this, you've been there. You have that friend, right? You love this guy. He's one of your best friends. You love hanging out with him. Good guy. And then he starts dating this chick that you hate. She hates you. You hate her. You know, you guys think in opposites in every way. She's politically opposite of you. She doesn't like the same stuff. She's dragging your buddy to like art house films and you know, she doesn't want you hanging out with each other. No more, you know, dirt bike riding in the dunes. No more going fishing. And you just want her gone, but she's there to stay. And you have no idea how to deal with this parasite that has attached herself to your best friend you like.
And all you can say to him, bro, is, and it's your sister, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You know? What? Sorry. Oh, too soon?
Yeah, okay. Too soon, bro. And like, you know, that's what it is. It's like this person that you just don't like very much that is just you have to deal with, and we have to deal with Iris West. So I really hope. And on the other side, there's this Caitlin Snow person that was like your buddy's ex-girlfriend that is still very kind and nice and hangs around. They just didn't get along very well. You know, it's like, I don't know, man. They're gonna have to change something with Iris' character. You know, they can't. Maybe Candace needs to play her differently, or they need to bring some soft edges back to this character and give her some actual motivation. Don't force the motivation onto us. Give her another reason. Maybe she's like, I don't know, dude.
Well, and you know, let her be the person that Barry saves. You know, it's okay to have a character that is the motivation of your hero. And she doesn't have to necessarily be, I mean, Lois Lane for Superman played a very interesting role, but she wasn't at the center of the universe. And I don't think that Iris West should be at the center of this universe. Yeah. So, you know, it's just, you know,
I think right now the show feels like it's not The Flash, but it's the West and their friends.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, I know it's episode 1, but you know, we'll see how it grows. This season's obviously going to be a little more lighthearted. They was very dark season 3, so you can see they've made a change to make it a more lighter.
Yeah, which I like that. You know, it's weird. I like the interaction between the entire cast right now, except for Iris. I hope that changes. That's all I'm saying. I just hope that changes.
I hope it does. I'm sure it will once Barry becomes the leader again.
Yeah. I agree. And I love this. This is when Cisco is like, it's like you almost don't want him to be back. You know, and he just like digs into her. I love it.
He called her out.
The manliness, the strength that is showing from Cisco is really nice, man. And there's this line that Joe says, you can't have strength without faith, right?
Right.
It's really good because like the entire time, the strongest character right now is Cisco Ramon. He's doing all the heavy lifting, literally all the heavy lifting, and he has the most faith out of everybody in the group. So it's a fitting.
Yeah, he does. But for a time there, you think, and he even agrees later on that it might have been too much more wanting it to be that way.
Right.
So there was a little bit of that. Maybe he wanted it too much, but it seems that most things have worked out.
Yeah, well, Joe gets a call while right before Cisco and Iris are about to fist fight. Claws
out.
Yeah, Candace is looking on with disgust, and then boom, he gets a call, and apparently they found Barry, and they picked him up outside. Cecilia called. They picked him up outside of some road somewhere, and the whole crew goes down to the police station to find Barry. And we get our first look at Barry acting all crazy, beautiful mind,
like Numbers.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that's right. Like that movie Arrival or something, just like drawing crazy Speed Force characters all over the walls.
Yeah.
He's talking weird. Clearly something mentally wrong with Barry. And we don't know if it's because he spent 10,000 years in the Speed Force that he's just he's broken, or if it's a side effect of being ripped out of the Speed Force against the wishes of the Speed Force people.
Yeah, right. We don't know what it is. All I do know is that whatever it is, it causes him to rhyme a whole lot.
Yeah, he rhymes a lot.
I am digging the beard though, kind of liking that scruffy look.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Iris is, shows a little bit of softness here, and she's like, Barry? It's hard to feel sorry for her, though, when for the last 30 minutes, she's been berating you, basically.
Yeah, well, later on, she actually goes into, full, kind of clean it up mode when she actually tries to explain that, you told me to keep running, Barry. Yeah. So I did. I moved on,
I moved on, Barry. I moved on. Well, it's funny. It's she's like, cleaning up with the team too. Sorry, I doubted you, Cisco, whatever. And you're like, is that because you're the Flash is back and now you're not going to be in charge anymore? What's the?
I don't know. I want to believe that her motivation is real and that she just was in so much pain, but she didn't want to think about Barry. But I just have a hard time understanding why she gave up hope that Barry would ever return.
Yeah. In 6 months. It wasn't like it was 6 years, bro. It was 6 months.
Right. She was already kind of writing him off. And I don't know. I'm not inside her head. I just felt like that's not how I would feel if my loved one was gone.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Well, they get
as
back,
far as I know.
They take Barry back to Star Labs, and Cisco is trying to figure out some kind of translation software that he can use to translate Barry's crazy. And it doesn't work, but that's when you get the line you like so much, right?
Oh, it's great, man. It's memeing everywhere right now.
Yeah.
I was on R Flash TV earlier. It is the statement of the season. Everybody feels like it's gonna come back later on and actually work itself into maybe the final episode, that's going to be used at some point. And all of Barry's crazy words that he's using during the episode is actually little pieces and plot points for future episodes for the season.
Well, it might be stretching it. I want that to be the case, but remember season 1, the newspaper, where there's still things that we haven't gotten, and we're in season 4.
No, you're right. But it is something that was thrown out there. A lot of people are kind of holding on to that, and it does make a little sense because there are things they talked about going to get diapers, and there's a lot of little comments that he made that led to the thought of, wow, maybe him and Iris will have a baby at the end of the season. There's actually some interesting things there that maybe while he was in the Speed Force, he actually got to see portion of what the future would look like.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is when Caitlin's trying to explain what she thinks is wrong with Barry. And, we're not going to recap on that. Basically, it's either he's been there for too long and he's broken, or he's he is talking and he thinks that everybody can understand him, but we can't. It's called something dysplasia or something. Turns out not to be the case, or maybe it is. I don't know. It's not really a big important part of this episode because he snaps out of it. Now, this is really great. When they wake him up and he's still talking crazy, and he starts writing immediately, and then he starts destroying Star Labs. Like that was like, okay, we gotta put this guy in a containment cage. Like, he's dangerous. That was nice to see.
Yeah, Joe's like, lock him up. Yeah.
And then I love this shot when Caitlin uses the freeze gun to put Barry down, and then comes out of the vapor or whatever, and like, were you expecting someone else? Because I really was expecting her to be using Killer Frost powers.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So
that was nice. That was a nice touch.
This is the question. Like, can she use Killer Frost powers when she's in human mode? Is she this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing? Where, I don't know. We're gonna find out.
We do find out a little bit.
We find out a little bit. We never seen her use her powers when she's as Caitlin Snow.
Well, she obviously didn't have control of those powers. So
yeah, once she felt threatened, she turned. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
This is when we get the Samuroid comes back, and he's like, "Look, the time is now. I'm gonna destroy the city." And Wally puts on the red suit and tries to cosplay as the Flash, which I thought was cool, and even held his own. Like, he goes toe to toe with this guy,
right?
Until this guy effectively just spanks him.
He looked like he was about to spank him right there.
Yeah,
look at that. You're not the Flash. It almost reminds me of like a 1985 cartoon, where you're gonna toss him aside.
Yeah, he spanks him, dude. Takes out of his Achilles tendon or something.
I mean, I guess how would he know he's not the Flash? I guess he's a robot being controlled by the villain. I guess, yeah.
Because he was expecting to lose, I think.
Okay.
And we have this nice heart-to-heart between Caitlin and Cisco, and this really great scene between Joe and Barry where he's shaving Barry. It shows how, this is why I love this character so much. Joe West is such a great character.
Yes, yeah.
You can tell he loves Barry, and he wants to help him in any way, and it's really a touching moment. Immediately ruined by Iris West.
Do you know? Well, before you go on to that, go back one where he's touching his face. He's saying right here, Barry's saying, "Joe, do you know how long it took me to grow that beard, man? And you just shaved it off.
Yeah,
it was looking good. It was looking good, Joe.
Took me 6 months, bro." Well, he's still crazy, whether he's shaved or not.
Yeah.
And of course, Iris West ruins the moment for me. For me, it's subjective, but it was so touching and kind. And she comes in and, just like brings the room down. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, she gets a great speech here though from her father.
Yeah, apparently he's going to church now. That's cool. He's found religion.
Okay, yeah, and well, even more importantly, I mean, the words he says are very true. You have to have faith. It doesn't matter if it's religious or if it's just faith in yourself or faith in whatever. You have to have faith when you go out throughout your life and to believe that things are going to work out in order to get through things. And she takes him literal.
Yeah, literal. She does. I don't know if I like this, Shane. Okay, I gotta say, I don't know if I like this. This seems really forced. So
even Samurai was like, "What?"
Yeah, Samurai is threatening the cops. Joe West is out there. He's looking like a badass. Got his gun out. He's like, "No, you're not." And Iris West just walks up through the police blockade. She's like,
as she does,
"Take me." And he's like, and Samurai is like, "Why?
Why do I do it? Should I take you?"
I have faith. He goes, "Okay, bro, it's your funeral."
It's okay, look up. Yeah, I can take you now. But then she's like, the Flash will come. So then she explains, has to explain to the bad guy why she should be taken. So I don't know. That was kind of. Yeah. Now everybody's gonna take Iris. I guess that's the.
Yeah, everybody's gonna. Yeah, that's how they're gonna get to the Flash. So obviously Joe West is not happy that his daughter just walked up to this, like, basically this god at this point, and then he took her. He runs back to Star Labs, and he's like,
I gotta stop giving speeches.
Barry, we need your help, Barry. They took Iris. I'm gonna help you, Barry, but first I need you to help me. They took Iris. And I don't know if that's what snapped him out of it or not.
Iris is in danger.
Right, because at some point at the end, he's like, what made you snap out of me? He goes, I don't know, I just felt like you were in danger or something. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't know. Obviously, it's a subconscious thing they're trying to get at, but Barry's eyes turn red. Immediately, he goes into flash mode, and that's it.
When his eyes turned red, it was like, I felt like, oh, his brain is just rebooting now. It's like rebooting and putting everything together. And that containment cell is certainly not secure.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, I guess they didn't realize how non-secure that is going to be.
They put a bunch of metas in these cells, right?
Yeah.
So is the Flash just super powerful right at this point? Or...
Well, we find out just a second later when he's clocked as the fastest anyone has ever gone.
Finally, the Flash is actually the fastest man alive.
He is and what's funny is, and I gotta love this, I got to shout out to Dr. Alchemy from R Flash TV, who had a post that basically said one of the only times Barry could have said in the intro, "I'm the fastest man alive," in the intro and mean it, but he didn't.
For 3 seasons, Barry has been lying to us. He's always saying, I'm the fastest man alive, yet he's always not the fastest guy alive.
And episode 4, season 4, episode 1, it happens.
And finally he is, and that's when we get that great The Flash is Back by Cisco.
Yeah, that's great.
God, I love Cisco's character. And boom, we get this great shot of the windmill farm, and Samuroid, I don't know where Samuroid's going. Is he leading? Is he purposely leading into that farm in particular? It seems like, I don't know if I want to fight in the middle of a bunch of vertical objects where the Flash can get to me when I'm flying. I don't know.
Well, the purpose wasn't, we learned that the purpose wasn't to actually beat the Flash. We still don't exactly know what the purpose is. They just want the Flash back, which apparently now has succeeded to happen. My big question about this is, there seems in a lot of this scene that the Flash can't seem to quite catch up to the flying samurai. And I thought, he is super fast, and I understand that they're trying to draw out the scene to make it more cool looking, but you definitely lost that whole, the Flash is so fast that he would instantaneously be there. So a little bit of that was lost.
Yeah, he seemed a little slower when he was actually getting up to him. Yeah, that's true.
But he basically jumps on top of the samurai, hits him with his feet, and that apparently kills the samurai. So, he died pretty easily.
No, he hits him with his feet, and samurai gets hit by one of those big blades.
Oh, did he get hit by a blade?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
One of the blades.
I was thinking it was weird how fast he went down.
He's flying, and the thing's like, dink, and like the whole fly just flies.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and watch that.
That's why I feel like it was a bad place to fight unless you wanted to lose, right?
Yeah, and he did. I think he wanted him to lose.
Yeah. All right. So we get Barry's back. He's holding this woman. He goes down. He's got to unmask the samurai, and surprise, surprise, it's a robot.
Yeah.
I know we weren't supposed to know that, but because of all the trailers leading up to it, I already knew that it was a robot.
Oh, did you? I actually, it was a surprise for me.
Oh, I'm glad you got that surprise.
Yeah.
It's a robot, and we get this great shot of Barry, gonna kiss his girl out in the field with the sun right behind him.
Ta-da, key music.
Yeah. It's like the Flash.
I'm back.
Meets the Notebook. And and Flash is back with the crew, and he's like, "Hey man, it's good to see you guys." Boom, boom. They're just they're shooting the ish. And what's crazy is we found out right here is that he doesn't remember a thing from the Speed Force.
Yeah, nothing.
He went into the Speed Force. The last thing he remembers is walking into the Speed Force, and that's it. So
well, and that's another reason why I think there's something hanky going on, other than the fact that Barry's all
Everything's cool,
You know,
man.
everything's great, sunshiny day.
Everything is awesome.
Right, yeah, a little bit, you know, like super happy Barry, like the Barry maybe you would have gotten if his mom had never been killed.
Right.
You know, so maybe it's that, but also all the people the skeptics in all of us are saying something might be off here.
Something is off a little bit. And Kid Flash is like, I don't know what's off. It looks fine to me.
Yeah. I think Team Kid Flash is awesome.
And then we get this shot, this scene where that weird, creepy, one-eyed dude grabs Caitlin, and she's like, bad idea, bucko. And she turns into Killer Frost because she's in danger, I think.
He makes her mad.
Yeah, he makes her mad. Like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right? Like,
yeah, very much so. And also, did you hear when they were talking? I thought I caught that basically they were working for a woman.
Right, they were working for somebody. So is Caitlin working for somebody
else,
or is Killer Frost working for somebody?
She says, tell her I'm out. I thought I could have missed that.
Yeah, that's what she says. Yeah,
tell her I'm out. And so he's like, no one's out. You know, basically he's gonna manhandle her down.
Right. Well, he tries. She turns into Killer Frost and makes quick work of the creeper, freezing his brain, which was like off-putting. Which was the point. So well done.
And I love the don't let your beer get cold.
Right. Yeah, that's it right there.
That was great.
Yeah, and the beer freezes. That was so cool. Right to his hand too. Like, oh my god. And she's Killer Frost, and then she reverts back to Caitlin Snow. So we're left with questions.
And she looks like she struggled with it, getting back to Caitlin.
Yeah, but it also looks like she's in control.
She's now in control again. But I think there was a moment there while she was changing where she wasn't sure if she could get back to Caitlin.
Because Killer Frost was like, oh, let's go have some fun. And she goes, no, not now. And Caitlin reasserts her control over her body. I guess maybe when her anger or the danger subsides, I guess she can take over again.
Yeah, but she's that other person during that time, so don't try to reason with her.
Well, this is a really cool idea for this character. I never liked the whole, like, I have to wear this choker and these bracelets to not turn into a evil, crazy person.
Yeah.
I like the idea where it's more like a Hulk kind of situation where, you know, which, by the way, DC doesn't really have. I mean, I guess they sort of do. Anyways, but it's more like a Hulk thing where, like, you know, she feels anger or threatened and she turns into this seemingly uncontrollable villain.
Yeah.
It's a really cool way for that character.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, it's one of the parts. It's one of the things about this episode that had me looking forward to the next one, other than just the show itself. But
yeah. Oh, you mean Iris didn't have you looking forward to the next episode? She was so great, though, Shane.
Let me tell you, I want to like her. I do. So I mean, I try. Every episode, I come back and go, I'm gonna like Iris West today, and I'm like,
yay! Get to see Iris West. You have faith that she's gonna do it. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Well,
Barry.
Carlos Valdez, Cisco Ramon carries it, so we're okay for now.
And we got to get us back. We didn't talk about this at all. I think we're towards the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still have to do the bad guy, but I got to get me some Tom Cavanaugh. Where's my Dr. Harry Wells, brother?
Where's my Harry Wells at, bro? Yeah, we're probably gonna see him probably on the third episode. It seems like that's around the time they bring Harry back every season. So
gotta have some. I hate. That's the only thing about the first episodes of the new seasons is I don't get Harry Wells, and it bums me out.
We're going to get there, bro. I promise we'll get there. Harry will be back.
Yeah.
Harry, by the way, is our favorite right now. Right? Like, we discussed it, and we like Harry the most out of everybody.
He's the man. I mean, I love Barry, but I love Harry.
Yeah, Barry's great, but, you know, Barry's a catalyst for these other great characters, you know?
Yeah.
So, we get this great scene between the Flash and that one person. And then,
this is the explanation. That's the explanation.
Yeah, right. It's the explanation. Well, and the reason I'm blowing past it is I feel like it was super shaky explanation. It just wasn't.
Well, I felt like we should have been able to understand why she felt the way she did, and shouldn't have had to telegraph it to us like this with the picture upside down. I mean, we just didn't get that from her acting, that she was conflicted or strifed. I mean, when they started talking about Barry early in the episode, she should have been almost in tears, I think, or maybe almost. You just couldn't tell that she was struggling with it. You didn't know what that emotion was. So the fact that they had to explain it in this scene was a little bit telling.
Yeah, I agree. I thoroughly agree. And we get to the Thinker little end nugget here. By the way, the Thinker looks awesome. In that line where he's like, when she's like, "What do you want to do next?" and he goes, "I'm thinking." That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is the Thinker, man. This is gonna be the season-wide villain. We're not gonna see him every episode. We're gonna get a little sneak peek of him. He's probably gonna be throwing metas at Barry throughout the season. We're gonna get a little more Freak of the Week until the middle of the season, I assume, where he becomes the primary focus of the team.
That makes sense. On the subreddit, on Flash TV subreddit, Exiled Snake put out that he thought it was Metron. He thinks he will reveal himself to be Metron later in the season. He thinks that Barry's gibberish actually somehow relates to that. But a lot of people on the subreddit saying that, could this be Brainiac pulling in some Superman since it's DC?
Guys, that is all wrong.
Hey, it's what the subreddit is saying, man. Don't go against it.
Guys, the character is the Thinker. The Flash in the comic books has a villain that has things coming out of his brain, his head, where he is the literal character called the Thinker. He's a super smart. He's the fastest brain alive versus the fastest man alive. That's the point. Metatron is a god. Is a literal god with control over space and time. It would take a whole lot more than the Flash to beat Metatron, and Metatron's not a villain. He's a neutral character that doesn't get involved with humans or lower beings. Like he is not Metatron. It's a cool idea, but I think that would be really too much. And I feel like if it was Brainiac, that'd be too much too, because Brainiac is maybe for the crossover of Brainiac, but it couldn't be a Flash villain because it's just not a Flash villain in the comic books.
Well, you know what? I think that was a great explanation, and I'm really glad that I brought it up so that you could just knock it down. Because I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I love you guys.
No, I think it was great. I think you're right. I think it's exactly what you said. It's from the comic books, and I think you're right.
Okay, well, thank you for that submission. No, I appreciate that. And that's it. You know, we got we're done with the Flash.
Woo.
I gotta say, my overall thoughts on the episode was, I'm glad it's back. I love Cisco. I love everybody except for Iris, basically. But I thought the way they brought Barry back was a little shaky, but I understand it's going to be hard to bring him back on the first episode without people feeling like it was rushed. So overall, I'm okay with it. Not the strongest opening, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I think we'll be waiting for the other fist to drop from the Speed Force. There's no way that the Speed Force will be that easily tricked. So expect some backlash at some point, maybe a few episodes down the road. But I feel the same way as you. If you're going to have the first episode, this was probably as good as any to get the season kicked off. And I'm already ready for next week.
As am I. This was great, Shane. I'm glad we got to have this discussion. Remember, please, everybody that's watching this, to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that comment button, and leave us some feedback. Whether you agree with us, disagree with us, you just love the way Shane's beard looks today. That's whatever, you know. The reason you should do that is because we have the 1600 sub challenge, which means at 1600 subs, we're going to be giving away another amazing gift to some random lucky person out of every video that happens from here on out. We're going to be going through those comments, taking a couple people from each video, putting them into a board, a bracket, and making you guys fight it out for this amazing gift. So check it out. If you don't understand, look at our last video we just put up yesterday, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's a fun time.
Yeah, definitely check that video out. It's totally wacky and a completely different way to do a giveaway. I promise you, I don't think anybody's doing that. But also, don't forget, also on top of 1,600 subs, which we might even get to 1,600 before we do this next one, we have 15 shows left for the special boxing video where one winner will get a box just from stuff from me that me and Brian pick out, and also some t-shirts from Mixed Tees that we'll send to you as a special gift. So just comment and subscribe for that as well.
Yes, and we'll see you guys in a few hours because we're also doing Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow comes up next, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, like button, the alert button. Give us a subscribe, and we'll see you in a minute.
See you soon.